Holy shit. On the day I returned to my country, the plane exploded. I just put on my parachute. A fragile woman who looked like a porcelain doll suddenly rushed over and ripped my parachute pack off. "What the hell are you doing?" I roared, ready to argue with her. But she suddenly pressed close to me, her soft lips pressed against mine. Damn it, I've dated my girlfriend for 7 years. I haven't even tasted the lipstick on her lips before, but this woman looked like she wanted to eat me alive. Holy shit, where are you touching? Just because you're good looking. You can do whatever you want? Just when I was furious and about to push the woman away, a few tall, burly men walked over. They scanned around a few times. She's not here. No parachute. She definitely won't dare to jump down rashly. What's more, she's seriously injured. She must be hiding among the crowd. Let's keep looking. I watched them search for a while, then left aggressively. I was a little flustered. Just then another group of people came over. I saw one of their hands tucked inside their clothes. Wait, do they have a gun with that posture? Suddenly a pair of harsh eyes fell on me. The other guy glanced at me. Just a couple facing life and death separation. They don't pose a threat. The woman's back is blocked by the parachute, which perfectly hides her identity. She should have hidden somewhere else. If we mess up this time, the higher-ups will never let it go. Looks like we have to step up our game. Don't let the Black Dragon Society guys find her first. After listening to their conversation, I couldn't help thinking how weird the passengers on this plane are. Who are they all looking for? And this woman is still taking advantage of me. Thinking that this girl was still violating my personal space, I raised my hand to push her away. But the woman grabbed my wrist and guided my hand to her waist. Hey, who are you? Stay away from me. The plane is about to crash. Do you hear me? The leader of the agents suddenly stopped in his tracks and looked back at me. Boss, we don't have much time left. We have to get out of here fast. What are you looking at? He followed the boss's gaze and looked towards me. I only realized then their gaze wasn't on me, but on the mysterious woman in front of me. Oh no, we caught their attention. Just then the man called the boss had already pulled a pistol out of his pocket and pulled the trigger quickly. The woman threw a blanket at them in response, then pulled me and jumped down. The speed was so fast it was astonishing. The parachute opened in the air. The two of us floated in the air at once and put a moderate distance between us and the plane. It's her! She escaped! Shoot now! Bang, bang, bang! Gunshots echoed in the air. Seeing our parachute flying further and further away, the man called the boss roared unwillingly. Chase them now! Several people quickly put on their parachutes and jumped down. I never would have thought I would get caught up in this mess for no reason. What exactly is this woman's identity? She's being chased by different gangs. What's her background anyway? I just wanted to question this woman, but I found her eyelids slowly closing. The hand holding my waist loosened weakly, and she passed out completely. Hey, don't fall asleep. I was scared out of my wits and held her tighter. Did you faint from fear? Hey. Oh no, the attack just now damaged the parachute. The woman was already unconscious. I prayed silently in my heart, oh my God, please, we're not going to crash here, are we? Below us was the vast sea. I hoped in my heart that this parachute could hold on a little longer. I don't want to die young. I don't want to kick the bucket here so soon at all and end my life in such a ridiculous way. This is not what I want. But the parachute was falling down at an extremely fast speed. I've lived for over 20 years. I never realized I was this unlucky. I got stuck with all the shitty things today. Before I could think too much, with a loud splash, the two of us fell heavily into the sea, making a huge splash. I was caught off guard and choked on a few mouthfuls of water. I floated up to the surface, gasping for air in discomfort. Luckily, I know how to swim. Otherwise, I would have really died here today. I flailed around on the sea surface a few times. I finally managed to calm down. A large patch of blood has spread across the sea surface. It looks like someone spilled a whole bucket of red dye. In the ocean, waves of shocking red keep spreading out one after another. No way, that's way too much blood. Where did all this blood come from? I scanned around my surroundings. That woman was nowhere to be seen anywhere. Oh no, those guys earlier said she was injured. Is all this blood coming from her? This woman is definitely no ordinary person. Those men might catch up here at any minute. If I get myself involved in this mess, I'll definitely land myself in huge trouble. But if I don't save her, she'll definitely drown alive out here. These two thoughts were fighting back and forth in my head. Finally, I squeezed my eyes shut in frustration and dove into the sea. I quickly spotted where she was in the seawater. Found her! I swam straight towards her. I used every last bit of my strength to drag the woman ashore. I had no clue where this place was. Judging by the fishing nets hanging outside every household, this must be a fishing village. My eyes quickly locked onto one of the houses. It's the closest to me, so I can get help fastest. I decided to go ask this household for help. I'll be right back to get you. I set the woman down on the ground, not caring if she could hear me or not. I ran to the door of the house alone and knocked. Hello? Is anyone home? I need help. Hello? Anybody there? Please open the door. It didn't take long. The wooden door creaked open, revealing a kind, gentle face. An old woman looked slightly confused. Oh, hello there. Who are you? The plane I was on had an accident. Someone fell into the sea just now. She's very badly injured. I need your help. Is that okay? The woman was slightly taken aback. She looked over at the figure lying on the shore. She yelled into the house. Honey, come out quick. We need to save someone. The fisherman walked out in 2 or 3 quick steps. He carried the woman back into the house without a word. Mister, your wife is very badly hurt. This looks like a gunshot wound. Yeah, we were on the plane just now. We ran into robbers. Not only did they steal all our stuff, they also shot at us a few times. Jeff slapped his thigh angrily. Man, these days are crazy. Wait a second. I have some great heirloom medicine passed down in my family. No matter how bad the wound is, as long as you apply this medicine, it'll be totally fine by tomorrow. That's so magical. This is the first time I've ever heard of medicine like this, the lady said with a smile. His family has been fishing for generations. Last time a big fish bit his arm. A whole chunk of flesh fell off. After he applied this medicine, it's completely healed now. Works like a charm. Really? I felt a little chill hearing that. The lady brought over a basin of water. You go clean your wife's wound first. We're gonna apply the medicine soon. I turned my gaze to the woman. Her arms were wrapped around my waist. Her head rested on my chest and rubbed a little, like she was holding onto a solid, reliable anchor. She was sound asleep. Of all times right now, this woman is still copping a feel off me. Wasn't she unconscious? How can she still do stuff to take advantage of me? My impression of her got even worse. Your wife really seems to adore you. She's still clinging to you even when she's this badly hurt. Ah, youth is such a wonderful thing. Back in my generation, we'd be so embarrassed just to hold hands with someone. Sorry for making you laugh at this silly scene. I kept a polite smile on my face. But actually, for this shameless woman, I was absolutely furious to the extreme. She's already hurt this badly. Can't she just behave herself? The old woman was just about to tease this young guy, but froze when her gaze landed on the woman's face. I noticed the old woman looked a little surprised. I thought, could this woman be some important figure? People even know her here in Shaoshan village? Auntie, do you recognize her? The old woman thought for a moment. She mumbled to herself that she looks familiar. I think I've seen her somewhere before. I was shocked. Don't tell me she's the most wanted criminal they keep showing on TV, or someone from a detention facility. That's supposed to be in temporary custody? Judging by how people were chasing to kill her earlier, she's angered at least 2 different groups of people. Auntie, please think more carefully. Where did you see her? This is related to my life safety. If she's a high-risk person, I will definitely contact the relevant authorities immediately. I will never hide any criminals. The lady shook her head. I can't remember where I saw her. Judging by how you're dressed, you must be from the city, right? You two look so handsome and pretty. You must be a celebrity couple, huh? Oh please, you're flattering us way too much. What celebrity looks as ragged and messed up as we do? Young man, apply this medicinal powder on his wound. When dinner is ready later, I'll have my wife come call you. Thank you so much. Sorry for all the trouble. No trouble at all, really. After they closed the door and left, I finally turned to look at the woman and flicked her lightly on the forehead. The woman let out a soft whimper, like I had hit a sore spot. Her delicate eyebrows furrowed slightly. I noticed dark blood stains seeping through her clothes, and fresh blood kept gushing out from her chest. Even though I was really reluctant, I still helped her take off her top. It's not for any other reason. I just don't want her to die here and make a huge mess. After I finished wiping her upper body, the whole basin of water was completely dirty. I poured out the dirty water and went outside to get a new basin of hot water. I was just about to wipe her lower body. When my fingers reached her pants, I hesitated. Whatever, I'll just give it a quick wipe and get it over with. There's nothing to be scared of anyway. But these pants are so tight. How am I supposed to take them off? I was struggling with the problem and fiddled with it for quite a while, when a cold, clear voice suddenly spoke up. "What are you doing?" I jumped in shock. The woman grabbed my collar hard and pulled me right in front of her. I was caught off guard and pressed right on her wound. Sorry, did I hurt you?" "I didn't do that on purpose." I scrambled to stand up immediately. "Don't get the wrong idea. I was just trying to wipe your body clean, so it's easier to apply the medicine." From the look in her eyes, she definitely misunderstood something. I kept explaining. I couldn't undo your buttons no matter what I tried. In the woman's bright eyes, an unreadable smile suddenly appeared. "You want to undo them? What are you staring at?" That smile of hers gave me the creeps. "Don't tell me you think I have a crush on you. I already have a girlfriend. I would never have any inappropriate thoughts about you. A guy who can't even take off pants has a girlfriend. What's wrong with the world these days?" I got embarrassed and annoyed instantly. "You think when two people are dating, they have to take each other's clothes off? My girlfriend and I are very proper. We haven't done anything like that at all." "Oh, I can totally tell." On the plane, "Your kiss was so messy and unskilled. It was terrible. Anyone could tell you've never kissed anyone before." It was fine when she didn't bring that up. Now I'm even angrier. I've saved my first kiss for all these years, just to give it to my girlfriend on our wedding night, so we can give each other our most complete selves. Who knew this woman would steal it for no reason? "I don't need your stupid opinion." I threw the medicine at her angrily. She smiled softly. "You're not gonna help me? Weren't you just trying to look at me? Why are you turning away now? This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance, you know? You should know, not every guy gets the honor of seeing me." My girlfriend is way more excellent than you. I'd rather look at her than you." This was the first time the woman heard someone was better than her. Looking at me hopping mad, she couldn't help but curl the corners of her mouth into a small smile. She moved slowly and leaned a little closer to me. She raised her hand and tugged gently at my sleeve. She was about to tease me, but before she could say anything, I saw she lost her balance and was about to fall off the bed. "Careful!" I hurried to catch her. The next second, her soft lips pressed against mine without any warning. I froze completely and stayed stunned for a few seconds. I pushed her away angrily. "What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like a female pervert?" The woman looked like a cat that stole the cream. She said smugly, "You came at me on your own. If you weren't about to fall off the bed, would I have come over to you?" I've never met such a bold woman in my life. Amusement danced in the woman's eyes. Like the angrier I got, the funnier she found it. "If you feel like you lost out, you can kiss me back to make it even." I pressed my thin lips together. "Give me your phone. What for?" I looked at the woman and secretly tried to guess her identity. I had a feeling she wasn't a good person at all. Looks like a fugitive. Just then, there was a knock on the door. "Hey, young man, dinner's ready." "Oh, your girl's awake." I protested inwardly. "She's not my girl at all." But I spoke politely out loud. "We'll be right there. Sorry to trouble you. We really appreciate your kindness." The woman deliberately spoke up to remind me, "You haven't put medicine on my wound yet." Like she was saying it for someone else to hear. I turned around and glared at her. My look said it all. "You're not disabled. Can't you do it yourself?" "Hey, young man, what's taken so long? You still haven't tended to your girl's wound. Hurry up, you don't want it to get worse. Remember to disinfect her wound with hydrogen peroxide first. Then sprinkle the medicated powder on it. I'll leave you two to it. Come out to eat once you're done." Then she closed the door and left. I shot the woman a furious look. The woman nodded with a smile. She looked pretty pleased with how things turned out. I was so mad I could grind my teeth. I poured half the bottle of hydrogen peroxide on the wound. It brought a slight stinging sensation, but the woman only let out a soft whimper. This woman is pretty tough, huh? After I finished disinfecting her wound, I sprinkled on the medicated powder, then wrapped it gently a few times with white bandage. When I was done with all that, the two of us walked out of the room one after the other. In the dining room, the fisherman and his wife were sitting at the table, waiting for us with empty, rumbling stomachs. They greeted us warmly the second we stepped out. "Hey, little lady, you feeling okay now? Come on over, take a seat. Dinner's all ready," the fisherman said with a smile. "We don't have much to treat you with, just some simple home-cooked food. Hope you don't mind." "Thank you so much. We've already caused you way too much trouble." I knew she was always rude, so I just thanked them on her behalf. After I sat down, the woman just stood there motionless. She glanced around the room once. It was a tiny tile-roofed house. What is this place? The second she opened her mouth, she had this arrogant, superior aura over everyone. The fisherman's wife didn't dare neglect her, so she introduced warmly that this was Fisherman's Village. It's located on the border of South City. South City? I've heard of that place before. It's about a 10-hour drive from East City. "Give me a phone." "Where's your phone?" "We don't have cell phones here." "There's one landline in the town. Tomorrow I'll have my husband take you there. It only takes 2 hours to get there. There are no other communication devices nearby. People here have fished for generations. We rarely have contact with the outside world." I thought she was being so rude, so I tugged at her sleeve, motioning for her to sit down. The woman didn't resist at all. She just sat down right next to me. There was a whole fish on the dining table, a pot of fish soup, and several bowls of rice served in rough, crude bowls. Even the chopsticks and bowls looked chipped and worn, but they were very clean. They must have been used for over 10 years. The woman suddenly lost her appetite. "Little lady, why aren't you eating? Come on, eat while it's hot." The fisherman's wife greeted her. She picked up a piece of fish to give to her. But the woman cut her off. "No, don't." The wife's hand froze mid-air. She hadn't expected her warm gesture to be rejected. I rushed to smooth things over immediately. "She just means she can help herself. You go ahead and eat, I'll serve her." I took the piece of fish from the wife's chopsticks and politely placed it back in her bowl. Then I picked a piece of fishtail for the woman. "Serves you right for being so picky. This part has so many bones. You can pick them out slowly." I suddenly felt a petty sense of revenge satisfaction. Of course, the woman saw right through what I was thinking. This man is really so biased. He deliberately gave me the fishtail with the most bones and gave the meatiest parts to the old couple. When the woman noticed that, not only was she not angry, she even curled up into a small smile. "Don't you always pick the fish bones out for me at home?" "I only eat fish that you've deboned." I was grinding my teeth in anger, but since the old couple were right there, I could only force my anger down. I forced a smile and said, "You're all grown up now. Stop being willful, eat quickly. Aren't you going to feed me?" As soon as she said that, the old couple who were just about to pick up their chopsticks froze. Or should I ask the unrelated people to leave first? Unrelated people? I almost spat out blood in shock. "Come on, this is their house. You're the one who doesn't belong here, okay?" This innate sense of superiority and that casual, carefree attitude. Where on earth do you even get that from? The woman pressed down on my bowl and looked at me with great interest. "You want me to feed you, huh? Soup or rice?" I was so mad I couldn't speak through gritted teeth. You guys just eat however you normally do, exactly like you would at home. Don't worry about us at all." The lady finally chimed in awkwardly to smooth things over. I was just about to explain that wasn't the case, when the woman spoke up before me. "We usually feed each other mouth to mouth." The fisherman spat out his rice by accident. "Dad, what the hell?" The lady quickly patted his back. "You were eating just fine. What's gotten into you?" While they weren't looking our way, I was furious and whispered, "Enough already." The woman still looked amused, like she was saying either you feed me or I feed you. I finally lost my patience, picked up the woman's bowl, and stuffed a bite of fish with bones into her mouth. I said through gritted teeth, "You love eating fish bones at home, right? Don't be shy here. They won't treat you like an outsider. Come on, eat more." I practically shoved all my anger into her mouth with that bite. The two old folks' eyes almost popped out of their heads. Who likes eating fish bones these days? "Don't worry, Mom. Her digestive system is really good. Even if she ate this whole bowl, she could digest it no problem. I fed her another bite out of spite. The woman didn't get mad at all. She just looked at me and smiled. To anyone watching, we looked like a couple who'd been deeply in love for years, totally head over heels for each other. Just when I thought I'd won this round, the woman suddenly leaned in quietly and passed the fish meat from her mouth into mine. My eyes flew wide open. It took me a few seconds to process what just happened. The woman actually took the food she was eating and fed all of it to me. I suddenly felt like throwing up, but she pressed her lips hard against mine, forcing me to swallow the food. The two people next to us were stunned. This way of feeding each other is so intimate. That's a first for me. Have we been out of touch with the world for too long? Are young people this open these days? I was already so breathless from her kiss that I swallowed the food on instinct. My first thought was to get ready for a fishbone to get stuck in my throat. But after I swallowed, there was no fishbone cutting my throat. I looked at the woman in shock. The woman picked up a rough paper towel next to her and spat out the fishbone onto it. Her movements were so elegant. I couldn't believe how she did that. The woman finally spoke, giving me an out. Do you eat by yourself? Or do you want me to feed you? I quickly grabbed my chopsticks. I'll eat by myself. I didn't look at her again and started shoveling food into my mouth. The woman stopped teasing me and casually put a big piece of fish belly on my bowl like no one else was there. She even picked out all the bones first. Eat slower, she said like a parent scolding a kid. I wanted to eat as fast as I could, as fast as humanly possible, just to get away from this little she-devil. That meal was absolute torture from start to finish. The lady opened a chest and took out some plain coarse cloth clothes she'd kept for years. Young man, you two haven't washed up yet. These are the clothes my husband and I wore when we got married. If you don't mind them, you can have them. The bathwater's already ready. It's in that room over there. I hesitated, not daring to take them. Oh, I couldn't possibly take these. These are your wedding clothes with Uncle. I can't fit into them anymore anyway. They're just sitting here for memories. We don't have any nicer clothes here. I hope you don't think they're too bad. The lady warmly pushed the clothes into my hands. I couldn't refuse, so I had to take them. Unexpectedly, the woman suddenly spoke up. These clothes don't suit you. I snapped back. None of your business. Then you bring a nicer set to exchange for it. Deal. I didn't expect her to agree so readily, so I asked for way more than I should, including tonight's food cost, medical fees and service fees. You have to pay 10 times the amount for all of it. 10 times? The woman just said calmly, sure. No normal person would ever pay 10 times the price for all tonight's expenses. It's really not worth that much. But what I didn't expect was, is this woman crazy or what? Any normal person would have ignored me the second I said 10 times. There's no way they'd agree that easily. Give me the phone now. The woman looked me straight in the eye, like she saw right through everything about me. I clamped my hand over my pocket. I stared at her in disbelief. How did you know I have it on me? Before I jumped off the plane, I put the waterproof phone in my pocket. I even zipped the pocket up to keep it from falling out. Nothing gets past my eyes. I heard her say that. I reluctantly pulled the phone out of my pocket. The woman dialed a number I knew super well. Track the exact location of this phone. Come pick me up tomorrow. I noticed she spoke with the natural air of a leader. I couldn't help being curious about her identity. The woman finished the call in just a few words. She created a new contact entry in my phone and saved her own name there. This is my contact information. You saved my life. Whenever you need my help, just come find me. I snatched the phone back. I was half skeptical and half convinced. She's even being hunted down by people herself. Won't I get in trouble if I go looking for her? Relax. I'm never going to come to you for help. I didn't plan on wasting more breath talking to her. I was just about to go take a shower. For this favor you did me, you can ask for any condition you want. No matter what it is, I will say yes. Shanha stopped in his tracks. He looked back at her. Are you sure? Your word is final? No takebacks? Seeing her putting on such an act, I couldn't help mocking her. If I want a villa and a luxury car, you'll say yes to all of that? As you wish. The luxury car and villa are yours. Plus me, Fu Qinghuan. What do you say? Sure enough, she was just spouting big talk. Arguing with her is just a total waste of time. I said rudely, "Move." Don't block me from taking a shower. While the fisherman was clearing the dishes, he suddenly remembered something. That girl. Isn't she the one reported on TV a few days ago, the 100 billion yuan group CEO Fu Qingwan? Yes, that's definitely her. It's her, I remember now. The fisherman was mending his fishing net. You watch way too much TV. How could a CEO come to a place like ours? The fisherman retorted, she can afford to take a plane. She's probably not an ordinary person. Aren't all CEOs on TV always taking planes? Flying all around the world? The old man chuckled. Silly old lady. Way too many people can afford to fly these days. We just haven't gone out to see the world for too long. The couple's voices drifted out through the window. While I was taking a shower, I remembered her name was Fu Qingwan. I mumbled the name a few times to myself. Qinghuan, why does that sound so familiar? I reached for the shampoo, but my fingertips suddenly touched something wiggly. My heart jolted hard. I looked up instinctively. I gasped in shock. Ah! My voice was tight with tension. Fu Qinghuan heard the noise. She immediately walked over quickly. Before the two elders could react, she had already pushed the bathroom door open and walked in. The bathtub was tilted to one side. I was standing in the corner. My clothes were all messy. Looking a little disheveled, Fu Qinghuan stepped forward. She gently draped a piece of clothing over my shoulders. Her tone was calm but full of concern. What's wrong? Fu Qinghuan scanned the bathroom calmly. There's no one else here. I was as tense as a stretched bowstring. I gripped her shoulder tightly with my palm. My knuckles were tight with tension. My voice was pressed extremely low, laced with uncontrollable panic. There's something here, she asked gently. What did you see? My body went stiff. I stepped back slightly. My shoulders were tight and trembling. My gaze was fixed firmly on the corner of the wall. My voice was deep and hoarse. That cockroach can fly. Fu Qinghuan was slightly stunned. Then she smiled softly. Helpless but indulgent. You're scared of cockroaches? Leave then. But I spoke in a hurried tone. It was almost an order. Just thinking about how I touched it just now. My back went numb. All the hairs on my body stood up. Cockroaches are my only lifelong phobia. The next second, the cockroach suddenly flew from the corner and landed on the window. I jolted violently. My face went pale instantly. I subconsciously tried to step back and get away. Panicked out of my mind, I gripped the woman's shoulders harder. Fu Qinghuan let out a soft huff. Looks like the wound on her chest was tugged. Don't move! Her voice was still gentle. The more flustered I am, the easier I'll provoke her. I froze instantly. Sweat beaded on my forehead. My voice was tight. Take me out of here. Fu Qinghuan glanced at the dim, messy bathroom. She frowned slightly. The old man outside the door asked anxiously, Young man, are you okay? His voice was gentle. She blocked the door to keep the old man from coming in. It's nothing, just a little scare. Then she linked arms with me and walked quickly out of the bathroom. We went back to the bedroom. She helped me sit down on the edge of the bed. Were you that scared? There was a faint smile in her voice. I didn't know whether to stand or sit. My body was still slightly tense and trembling. All I could think about was that flying cockroach from earlier. I planted my hands at my sides. My back was stiff. I tried hard to force myself to calm down. Fu Qinghuan watched me all tense and trying to tough it out. Her gaze dimmed a little. She suddenly thought, a man who's clearly terrified, but refuses to show weakness and puts on a brave face, made her heart flutter extra hard. You sleep on the bed tonight. The woman thought if she didn't leave right then, she might do something she'd regret. She was just about to leave. When she heard me say, wait, I stared at the wall in fear. At that slowly crawling bug. I didn't dare look away for even a second. This house literally has every gross thing imaginable. Spiders, bugs, moths, everywhere you look. Don't tell me you're scared of bugs too? Are you even a real man? I shook my head. I wanted to say I was fearless as a kid, scared of absolutely nothing. But ever since I got scared by a flying cockroach, I'm mortally terrified of all insects. Put your clothes on first. At the woman's reminder, I looked down at myself in confusion, only to realize I only had a towel wrapped around my waist. I was already freaked out enough. Now I was even more mortified. I got dressed in a couple of quick moves. I was so embarrassed I wanted to kill myself. Go to sleep. The woman didn't make fun of me. She blew out the oil lamp and lay down next to me. It hit me all of a sudden. "You're sleeping here tonight? Where else would I sleep?" I hesitated and said, "We're total strangers who just met, sleeping in the same room. If people find out, it'll ruin your reputation." The woman cut me off. "Relax, I'm not interested in you. Besides, I'm injured. Nothing's gonna happen." I thought about it and figured that made sense, but I still couldn't let my guard down completely. The woman saw the hesitation on my face and said, "If a cockroach shows up, I'll take care of it for you. I'm not scared of bugs like you are." I liked hearing that. I'd had a long day and was sleepy. I slowly let my guard down and fell asleep. The next morning, howling wind rattled the paper-covered windows. I don't know if it was because the wind was too strong or because this old house was dilapidated from age. A few tiles on the roof were even blown off. They clattered to the ground. As a luxury jet flew closer and closer, more and more tiles fell off the roof. Before we knew it, over half the roof was blown off. Everything inside the house was exposed to the wind. All got blown all over the place. Even the windows were. "Excuse me, you two." The old couple sorting fishing nets in the yard were terrified. They hurried to hide in a corner and watched. This grand imposing plane, it tried to land several times, but there wasn't enough space. It circled a few times in the air, so it had to land on the nearby beach instead. Lots of local fishermen ran out to check out the commotion. This isolated little fishing village had never seen such a big stir before. I was woken up by the noise, only to find I was holding Fu Qinghuan in my sleep. I sat up in a hurry, but thankfully, both of us were fully clothed. I looked over at Fu Qinghuan. She was looking at me with disdain. "You used me as a pillow all last night, tossing and turning with me in your arms. Did you ever let me get any sleep?" "What? I held her all night?" I remembered the dream I had last night. Turns out the thing I was holding in my dream, that smelled nice and felt soft, wasn't a kitten or a puppy. It was this woman. "Why didn't you wake me up?" "I was worried if I woke you up. What if you lose control and go wild? It won't just be a few hugs, you know. Why is this woman so rude?" It hit me all of a sudden. What was that noise outside just now? "My people are here to pick us up." Fu Qinghuan stood up lazily. "Let's go?" "But I haven't brushed my teeth or washed my face yet." The woman teased. "I'll take you somewhere else. Or do you want to wash up in that roach-infested room?" The second I heard the word roach, I shook my head like crazy right away. Even though I didn't want to leave with her, I had no other choice. I went with her. Out of the old house, a bunch of curious fishermen had gathered outside. A magnificent private jet was parked not far away, with a custom logo engraved on its fuselage. It looked super fancy and high-end. I grew up living a privileged life. I've been on all kinds of luxury jets, but this one cost a whopping $1 billion, topping the list of all luxury jets. When it was first manufactured, it caused a huge stir among many billionaires. Rumor has it it's equipped with a living room, office area, entertainment zone, lounge, bedroom, and all other essential spaces. A woman walked off the jet. Just by her vibe, she's definitely the stereotypical rich heir, right? I didn't expect this rich heir to walk towards me. With a faint smile on her face, I thought, oh my God, is this one of my admirers? No matter how attractive I am, how would this admirer know that I'm stuck in this small fishing village and need help? But if she's not an admirer, why is she staring right at me the whole time? The woman walked towards me step by step. If she confesses to me later, what excuse should I use to turn her down? Oh, right, I can say I already have a girlfriend. I don't want to get involved with other women. Right. When I was overthinking this, the woman walked past me and went straight to Fu Qinghua. Miss, I finally found you. This subordinate deserves to die 1,000 deaths. I had no idea those two groups would dare attack on the plane. What is it? Miss, it looks like. What on earth is this woman's background? She sounds like a total big shot. Have you found out everything? Fu Qinghuan didn't blame her at all. She asked casually, like it was no big deal. Besides the Black Dragon Gang and the Polar Organization, there's another group of unknown origin. Before the Black Dragon Gang and Polar Organization made their move, that group had already set off the explosion. GE is coming at us hard. Who are they targeting? The man hesitated for a second and said, their target is a man. But there were heavy casualties among the passengers on the plane. We haven't got any leads yet. After the woman finished reporting, she sneaked a glance at me. Who is this man? How can he stand this close to our miss? You have to know our miss never gets close to men. She hates being in close contact with men, but she doesn't seem to hate being around him at all. Fu Qinghuan's gaze dimmed a little, like she was thinking about something. After a while, she ordered, "This house. Get someone to redo the design and renovation. When you landed just now, you scraped off the roof of this house." The woman lowered her head to admit her mistake and said guiltily, "It was my mistake." Fu Qinghuan asked the old woman next to her if she knew how to grow vegetables. The old woman was too shocked to say a word. From the conversation between the master and the servant, this woman is definitely no ordinary person. The woman next to her saw she wasn't speaking and frowned slightly. "Our miss is asking you a question." The old woman answered in a hurry, "Yes, give her a vegetable garden too." After Fu Qinghuan finished giving orders, she turned to look at me. I didn't expect she actually took last night's joke seriously. I didn't know how to respond for a second. "For the accommodation fee, I'll compensate them with a brand new house. As for the medical expenses you mentioned, Xiao, write them a check for 1 million yuan. Xiao heard her miss's order, was just about to write it when she suddenly remembered. "Wait, miss. There are no banks around here that can cash checks at all. If the couple takes this check for thousands of miles around, let alone if they can even cash it. Even if they do cash it, it's super dangerous to bring that much cash back here. Then give them cash," Fu Qinghuan said decisively. Xiao brought a box of cash from the jet and handed it to the old woman. "This is our Mrs. kind gesture. Please take it." The old woman froze on the spot. He opened the box with trembling hands. Stacks of neatly arranged RMB bills were inside. The amount was so huge that the woman fainted right away. The old fisherman hurriedly held her up. He glanced into the box and fainted too right after. That much RMB they had never seen in their entire lives. "Follow me." Fu Qinghuan walked ahead. I hurried to follow right behind her. We got on the plane. The European-style cabin had 8 sofas inside. Audiovisual systems were everywhere. I knew this was the best performing model of all luxury jets. "Take him to wash up." After Fu Qinghuan gave the order, she went into the shower in the bedroom herself, leaving the other big bathroom for me. Xiao made a gesture of invitation. "Sir, please follow me." I followed behind Xiao. I was just about to ask who Fu Qinghuan was, but thought it unnecessary after a second. After all, we'll go our separate ways once we land. We won't have much chance to meet each other later anyway. These are the toiletries. Over here are the change of clothes. The bathroom is over there. All shower supplies are complete. Xiao introduced them politely. I gasped in amazement secretly. I looked at the clothes next to me. "Are these for me too?" "Yes, sir." My tone was a bit sarcastic. Besides clothes, there were also men's underwear and boxers. I felt disgusted just thinking about it. Xiao thought I misunderstood something and hurried to explain. "That's not it. Miss told us to prepare these via text last night. They should all be your size." The tips of my ears turned red immediately. When did she send the text? How come I had no idea at all? It was 11 o'clock last night. At Xiaoxiao's reminder, I finally remembered I had already been lying in bed for quite a while by then. Did she use my phone to send texts while I was asleep? Damn it. Did she also peek at other stuff on my phone? At this thought, shame and anger flooded my chest immediately. I slammed the bathroom door shut. "Sir, you can press the call system on the wall if you need anything. I'm at your service anytime." After Xiao finished speaking, she stepped back respectfully. I cursed in my mind while I was showering. She actually used my phone without permission. Despicable. I cursed thousands of times but still couldn't calm down. After I finished showering and came out, Fu Qinghuan was already eating at the dining table. I noticed she also took a shower, and she smelled really nice. After changing into a clean dress, Fu Qinghuan looked completely refreshed. Her movement of cutting steak looked so elegant too. She was definitely not from an ordinary wealthy family. I just sat down when I heard her say, "You saved my life last night. Out of gratitude, I'll give you 10 million yuan as a reward." My movements froze. Why did that sound so harsh to my ears? Hearing this, Xiao immediately wrote a check for 10 million yuan and handed it to me respectfully. "Sir, please accept Mrs. Kind offer." I refused coldly. No need. What happened last night was just a small favor. Just take it as payment for staying the night with me. As soon as Fu Qinghuan said this, Xiaoxia was completely stunned. What? This man actually stayed with Miss last night? What earth-shattering news this was. You have to know their Miss has kept away from men for years, not to mention male attendants. Even her only assistant is me, a woman. Even when the old master tried to set her up with someone, she always rejected him in a cold tone. It's harder than climbing to the sky to get Miss to date someone. What kind of magic happened yesterday? Or does this man have some kind of spell that he made Miss give in so easily? I threw the check towards Fu Qinghuan. It should be me paying you for your service. Actually, I got even angrier after thinking about it. I took 1 yuan out of my wallet and threw it over. For your good performance last night. This is my extra tip for you. Service fee, good performance? Xiaoxia was even more stunned, shocked as she was. She was quick in reaction and stopped the check in mid-air while catching the 1 yuan bill quickly. Otherwise, both things would have hit their Miss right in the face. Fu Qinghuan looked at me with ambiguous eyes. I cleared my throat and said in a deep voice, "What happened last night? I hope you won't tell anyone about it casually. After all, nothing happened between us. I don't know how many men you have outside, but I already have a girlfriend. I hope Miss Fu can think for my situation a little." Xiaoxiao, who stood beside, was way beyond shocked. How could Miss Fu fall for a guy who already has a girlfriend? What's more, this guy doesn't even take her seriously. You know what? Miss Fu is the heiress of the family that tops the Forbes rich list. For 6 consecutive years. A proper wealthy young lady. Brains and looks. She's got everything that makes people. Jingwei Ebudui, Zhongxin. Brains and looks. She's so outstanding that everyone is in awe of her. But this guy right here totally doesn't take our Miss seriously at all. Xiaoxiao complained in her mind. Sir, your taste in people really needs to be improved, even if you don't know Miss Fu's identity. Just look at how luxurious this plane is. Miss Fu is obviously way better than your girlfriend, right? It's already crazy that you don't try to suck up to her, but you even treat her badly? What's wrong with you? You are really loyal to your girlfriend, huh? Fu Qinghua's tone was impossible to figure out, but Xiaoxiao could tell. Her lady was definitely annoyed. Wow, this is getting more and more interesting. But miss, don't be jealous. You always get whatever you want easily, right? So what if the guy has a girlfriend? Even if he was already married, you could still steal him away, couldn't you? I sneered. Miss Fu, you flatter me. I'm just not as promiscuous as you are. Promiscuous? This guy actually dared to call out Miss Promiscuous? Xiaoxiao almost choked on her own breath. But Fu Qinghuan wasn't angry at all. Instead, she smiled and said, "Eat up. You need strength to argue with me later." I had no problem digging into the delicious food in front of me. I saved his life yesterday, and he has pissed me off so many times already. Eating a breakfast from him is totally reasonable. The second I thought of that, I started eating without holding back at all. Fu Qinghuan watched me with a smile. She cut a piece of steak, put it on my plate and said, "Try it. It tastes really good." I immediately pushed the steak away with my fork and knife. I don't want to eat food with your saliva on it. I can cut my own steak. Xiaoxiao was completely blown away. This guy is so straightforward, does whatever he wants, acts however he pleases, and doesn't take our Miss seriously at all. She has been with Miss Fu since she was little, and this is the first time anyone has ever ignored her like this. You have to know every other man in front of Miss Fu, when they are around her, would kill to get even a little bit of her favor. But this guy is really a breath of fresh air. After I finished breakfast, the plane had already landed at Dongcheng Civil Airport. Thanks for your hospitality, Miss Fu. See you never. I hope we never meet again in our whole lives. I got off the plane without hesitation. I hailed a taxi and drove away quickly. Fu Qinghuan stared at my disappearing back, as if she was deep in thought. Xiaoxiao asked carefully beside her, "Miss, should we go home?" She could feel that Miss Fu was very unhappy. Back to the company. Fu Qinghuan's tone was flat. She sounded a little lost. Xiaoxiao couldn't help asking, "Do you want me to check his identity?" Fu Qinghuan shot her a cold look, as if blaming Xiaoxiao for being nosy. Xiaoxiao shivered. She was just about to apologize for being nosy, when Fu Qinghuan said, "Xiaoxiao, I find you know me better and better." Seeing a weird smile tug at the corner of Miss Fu's red lips, Xiaoxiao trembled again. She didn't know if she should be happy or worried. This was the first time Miss Fu had ever acted like this for a man. Earlier, just to send him back. They passed their own villa area and didn't even stop. They specially flew to the only civilian airport in Dongcheng, just to make it easier for him to take a taxi. That doesn't make sense. It's only been one night. Xiaoxiao lowered her head. Understood, miss. I'll look into it right away. Fu Qinghuan looked out of the window with great interest. After I got in the taxi, I told the driver an address. Qingyan Group. The taxi driver heard the name and asked in surprise, "The one you are talking about is the Qingyan Group on Linjiang South Road, right?" "Yes. Is there any problem?" The taxi driver opened his mouth, but said nothing. This guy probably hasn't been back for a long time, so he doesn't even know the group's name has changed. The driver shifted gear and stopped talking. He stepped on the gas and drove towards the destination. I breathed the fresh air outside the window. Dongcheng, I'm finally back. The wind blew on my face, with a familiar smell I haven't felt for a long time. I was in a really good mood. I suddenly remembered I haven't texted my parents yet. Forget it. I'll just show up directly later and give them a surprise. Today is Lu Nianyan's birthday. The gift I worked so hard to prepare for her disappeared right after jumping off the plane. I was kind of annoyed. That woman who stole my first kiss. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't be stuck with all this crap. I took out my phone and dialed the number of a cake shop. "Do you have any ready-made cakes available right now?" "Young Master Yan, is that you?" The receptionist almost dropped her phone. For over a decade, the Yan family has ordered all their desserts and pastries from her shop, so she knows the phone number of every single member of the Yan family. Knows them all by heart. But she was so shocked right now, because she hadn't seen this number pop up for 3 whole years. "Yeah, I'm back in the country. I want to order your largest cake. Can you get it ready today? Are you ordering it for Miss Lu?" At this time of year in the past, the Yan family always ordered cakes for Lu Nianyan. Everyone who works at the cake shop knows that, but the receptionist thought it necessary to remind him that second young Master Yan had already sent one over. I didn't expect Yan Yibai to be so thoughtful. My half-brother always looks out for me on everything. He even handles trivial stuff like ordering cakes himself. I smiled in relief at the thought. Then there's no need for that. Thanks, it's no big deal to show up empty-handed. We're family after all. At that thought, I lifted my eyes to look at the scenery outside the window. The closer we got to my family's company, the nicer the surroundings got. For your information, my family's company is one of the top enterprises in Dongcheng. Just as I was zoning out, the taxi slowly came to a stop. We arrived. I paid the fare and was getting out of the car when I realized the name had been changed. King Group. What's going on here? I looked around half-doubtingly. This is definitely the Yan family's property. All the buildings are exactly the same as before. But I hadn't figured out the name thing yet. 2 employees wearing work badges walked past me in a hurry. Didn't President Yan say yesterday? He's not here today. We need to keep a close eye on this project. President Yan has so much experience. Under his leadership, profits have increased by a lot these past 3 years. I hurried to stop him. Hey, wait a second. Excuse me, is the President Yan you're talking about Yan Yuandong? Yeah, that's him. The 2 of them smiled awkwardly. Okay, that's all I wanted to ask. Sorry to bother you. The 2 gave me a weird look. Oh right, my family's company just changed its name. The doubts and unease I had just now faded away right then. I stepped into the company's front door. Hello, who are you here to see? The receptionist saw someone come in, immediately stood up respectfully, and greeted me with a sweet smile. Hello, my name is Yan Chen. I am Yan Yuandong's son. I'm the CEO of this group. Could you let him know I'm here? Tell him I'm back in the country. I need to go up now. As soon as I finished speaking, she burst out laughing. All the respect she had earlier was gone, replaced by obvious disdain. Sir, have you come to the wrong place? There's only one Yan who's the CEO of this group, and that's our Yan Yuandong. President Yan, you say you're his son? President Yan only has one son, and that's our Yan Yibai. Chairman Yan, my little brother, doesn't he do his research before lying? I was totally confused. Yan Yibai is the chairman now? When Grandpa passed away 3 years ago, the lawyer made it very clear when he announced the will. 80% of Qingyan Group's shares and the Yan family's billions in assets would be fairly competed for by me and my dad Yan Yuandong. Whoever meets the inheritance requirements first gets the inheritance rights. Before the inheritance is finalized, both my dad and I are CEOs of this group. We run the company's affairs together. Yan Yibai wasn't mentioned even once in the will. There's no way he has any part in this. I smiled and asked if there was some kind of mistake. Everything I'm saying is true. The Yan Yibai you're talking about is my little brother. The receptionist smiled politely. Really? I've worked here for 3 years. I've never heard that Chairman Yan has an older brother. I insisted. Yan Wendong is my father. If I were a scammer, how would I know his name? The receptionist's mouth twitched and decided to stop being polite. Way too many people know our President Yan's name. But I don't know where you got the info that our President Yan isn't here today. So you came here to pretend to be his son. But I'll give you a piece of advice. Scamming isn't a good line of work. She advised me in the tone of an elder. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. You've got this totally wrong. I'm his 100% real no fake son. Oh right, and I'm Jack Ma's daughter then. You're actually pretty good looking. Why not pick a proper job to do? You had to run this lousy scam. I bet you're trying to sneak into Mr. Yan's office. To steal stuff, right? Look at you rocking those fake designer brands like they're real. Who would have thought you're just a scammer? When I came in just now, the front desk thought you were some important client. Who would have guessed you're nothing but a complete utter scammer? I'm really not lying to you. Both my dad and I are executive presidents of this group. Just yesterday there was another guy who claimed to be Chairman Lu's boyfriend. He made a huge scene here. It was so ridiculous. That excuse would be way more believable than yours. I got even more confused. Are you talking about Lu Nianian? I really am her boyfriend. The receptionist rolled her eyes so hard, she almost passed out. Oh please, I'm Wang Xikong's girlfriend then. Looks like you're completely impossible to reason with. Leave now or I'll call security to throw you out. I knew it was no use wasting my breath on her, so I spoke to her patiently. All right, how about you connect the internal line? I'll talk to your Mr. Yan myself. That's the best way to prove my identity. The receptionist rolled her eyes dramatically. Sir, if you keep being this stubborn, I'm really going to call the police. Hurry up and leave. Today's a big happy day. Don't bring us bad luck. I kept asking, what big happy day? Oh, you don't know about that? Today's the birthday of our future young mistress, Chairman Lu. All the executives went to the Sky Garden to celebrate with her. Only an idiot like you is here pretending to be Mr. Yan's son. If you've got time to run scams, you might as well head over there and see what the real young master of the Yan family looks like. I knew talking to her any longer was just a waste of time. I hailed a taxi and got in. I felt both annoyed and amused at the same time. Should I say this receptionist was deliberately giving me a hard time? Or that she's just way too dedicated to her job? I took out my phone to call my parents. I called several times, but no one picked up. Then I called my little brother. After that, I called Lu Nianian. But none of these 4 people answered my calls at all. I turned to the driver and asked, Sir, I have a question to ask you. Qingyang Group. When did it change to Qingxi Group? No idea, mate. I've been here for 2 years. It's always been Qingxi Group. I've never heard of any Qingyang Group. I nodded my head and stopped asking further questions. After I arrived at Dongcheng No. 1 Hotel, I went to the Sky Garden on the top floor. Since I didn't have an invitation letter, the 2 security guards refused to let me in no matter what. No matter how I explained, they stuck strictly to the rules and wouldn't cut me any slack at all. Go, go, go! Stop getting in the way here. I really am Yan Wudong's son. Leave now or we'll use force. Wait, is that Ah Chen? A familiar smiling face suddenly appeared in front of me. I lifted my eyes. I haven't seen Brother Ah Hao for 3 years. He's gotten even more handsome. When the 2 security guards saw him, they hurried to greet him. Hello, young Master Shi. Shi Hao obviously didn't pay them any mind. Then he turned to look at me. When did you come back to the country? Why didn't my flirty little sister mention this? When the old man was forcing her to marry a couple days ago, she even used you as an excuse. She told him to carve a boyfriend that looks exactly like you for her. We all laughed so hard over that. Brother Ah Hao, stop teasing me. You've been making fun of me ever since we were kids. Come on, that's not even over the top. For my flirty little sister to like you, and even chase you for 3 years. You broke her all-time record for longest time chasing someone. You're the hardest one to win over ever. Shi Hao smiled and patted me on the shoulder. Brother Ah Hao, stop messing around. You're just in time. They don't believe who I am. Can you please help vouch for me? Shi Hao tapped his chin lightly with his finger. What benefit do I get out of this? I'll owe you a favor, Brother Ah Hao. I'll definitely pay you back later. As long as it's something I can do, just name it, Brother Ahau. All of you see this clearly. Get out of my way if you know what's good for you. The two security guards had no idea. The man in front of us is really the eldest young master of the Yan family. Hurriedly let us pass. I thanked Shihao. I was just about to leave, but I heard Shihao say, "But Aken, you picked a really bad time to come today." Brother Hao, I don't get what you mean.
As far as I know,
There's a good show coming up soon. I always love getting in on the fun, but I never bother with low-stakes shows. I'd never come in person for those. I was totally confused hearing that suddenly the lights went dim. Only a single spotlight stayed on, shining onto the stage. Yan Yuandong was standing on the stage with a big smile. I have a happy announcement to make today. Regarding my son's marriage. The whole venue went quiet in anticipation, holding their breaths to listen. Group merger? When did that happen? I was a little confused and a little curious at the same time. Is Mom gonna announce my engagement to Lu Nianian? Why didn't she talk to me about this first? Let's cut right to the chase, everyone. Let's welcome the Yan family's future daughter-in-law Lu Nianian to the stage. Yan Wandong started applauding first. I stood off stage and clapped along with everyone. I haven't seen her in 3 years. Lu Nianian had gotten a lot thinner, with a soft smile on her face. She looked even more approachable now. Just looking at her from far away made me think how wonderful she is. Now let's welcome my son Yan Yibai to the stage. As Yan Yuandong finished speaking, the whole venue erupted in applause. Yan Yibai walked onto the stage with a smile. I haven't seen him in 3 years either. He looked way more mature now. But what I never expected was Lu Nianian was holding hands with Yan Yibai. They were gazing at each other lovingly, like a couple deeply in love. It hit me like a bolt out of the blue. I almost lost my balance and stumbled a step backward. I couldn't believe my eyes. My girlfriend and my own brother were about to announce their marriage. Shihao reached out and steadied me. You can't handle just this much? The real good show's still coming. Yan Yuandong's hearty laughter rang out. On this wonderful day, I'm happy to announce the union of the Yan family and the Lu family. My son Yan Yibai will marry Lu Nianian, heir to the Lu family. Their wedding will be held on the 28th of next month. Today isn't just the grand celebration for the 3rd anniversary of the merger between Xingyan Group and Lu Group. It's also Nianian's birthday party and the couple's engagement banquet. The words engagement banquet hit me like a hard blow to the head, catching me completely off guard. My brain was just buzzing non-stop. I felt an unbearable stabbing pain in my heart. The girlfriend I've loved for 8 years was about to get engaged to my little brother. How is this even possible? On this wonderful day, I also have a regrettable announcement to make. My eldest son Yanchen was in a plane crash yesterday. Starting from today, the only son I have left is Yibai. Since Aken had the accident, he legally has no right to inherit the family assets. The company's future operations will be in Yibai and Nianian's hands. As soon as Yan Yuandong said this, the whole audience was shocked. While silently mourning for me, they secretly glanced at Lu Nianian and Yan Yibai, the two successors. Looks like Qing Group will have new owners soon. I never expected things would turn out like this. Dad announced my death way too soon. It made me feel like I meant nothing at all. Even if I really had an accident, wouldn't Dad even try to look for me? I sent Aken abroad 3 years ago, hoping he'd learn perfumery skills to help me run the group when he came back. But I guess the gods envy the talented. He just didn't have that good fortune. Today's a happy day. Let's put Aken's matter aside for now. Enough of that. Everyone help yourselves. Let's raise a toast. Wish our group gets better and better every year. Yan Wandong raised his glass as he finished speaking. All the guests raised their glasses in response. My heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. Looking at the smug, happy man on the stage, I couldn't believe it. Is this really my dad? Dad, Yibai and I will take good care of you from now on. Don't be sad anymore, okay? After Lu Nianian finished toasting, she held his arm and walked slowly off the stage. That's right, Dad. Even though you lost one son, you gained a daughter like Nianian. Heaven hasn't treated you too badly. You win some, you lose some, right? Yan Yibai held his other arm. Yan Wandong patted him on the shoulder. Also joining us today is President Lin from the Lin Group and Mr. Chen from Wanhui Group. Let me take you over to meet them. Yu Ying, come over too. I'll be on business trips a lot from now on. I'll have to trouble you to take more care of the kids. Don't say that. After all, I'm the chairman of the group. Even if they weren't my kids, I'd still take good care of them. Stepmother Jiang Yuying was all smiles, looking very pleased. I watched the four of them, a whole family. I suddenly felt like a total outsider. Watching this whole thing unfold right in front of me, I couldn't stop shaking. I've only been away for 3 years. Everything has completely changed. Yan Wendong led them. After greeting the bosses of various groups, the four of them walked to the dining table, chatting and laughing. They were just about to start eating, having such a good time. Did something fun happen? As soon as I spoke, the four of them suddenly changed their expressions. Yan Yibai reacted first. He opened his eyes wide in disbelief. Brother, you're back? Why? Shouldn't I be back? You're not dead. You wanted me dead. No, I mean, that's impossible. Yan Yibai couldn't believe that his own brother had actually come back alive. Yan Wendong's face also fell, just like his. Aken, wasn't your plane in an accident? I saw the news say none of the passengers survived. I smiled coldly. So you didn't even bother to look for me? You just wrote me off as dead right away? I can't even describe how I felt just now. My own father announced my death. Completely calm, no emotion at all. Seeing this, Jiang Yuying smiled and tried to smooth things over in a half-scolding tone. Aken, you're being so naughty. Since you survived, you should have called home to let us know you were okay. You have no idea how worried the four of us were. We couldn't sleep all night. Oh, really? You all look pretty energetic to me. Not like you didn't get any sleep at all. I lifted my eyes. Instead, you got to inherit my assets, right? You must be really happy about that. Yan Wendong noticed I was angry, immediately snapped at Yan Chen. How dare you talk to your mom like that? I know you can't accept Nianian and Yibai's relationship right away, but there are so many guests here. You have to save the Yan family's face. Stop acting like a spoiled child. Who's going to save my face? I looked at Lu Nianian with hatred. As long as she was willing to give me a reasonable explanation, I would have let the past go, but she didn't feel guilty at all. Achen, about Yibai and I'm the one who wronged you. I didn't tell you the truth for so long, because I was afraid you'd get hysterical like this. Hysterical? I got betrayed by the people I love and trust the most. Am I supposed to just take it quietly with no complaints? In these 8 years, if you'd told me the truth even once, things wouldn't have turned out like this. You told me you loved me, while you promised yourself to my brother behind my back. Lu Nianian, is this what you call love? When I said this, I was furious and heartbroken. Just yesterday, she told me she loved me on WeChat. How come everything changed today? When it comes to relationships, no one can say for sure. Jiang Yuying adjusted her shawl, advised me in the tone of an elder. Nianian and Yibai are very much in love now. Do you really want to break them apart? You can't force someone to love you, it won't work. Instead of making a huge scene, you should just gracefully wish them well. We're all family after all. Does it really matter if Nianian chooses you or Yibai? Is there any difference? I yelled. Of course there's a difference. Yibai is Yibai. I'm me. I'm the future heir of the group. He isn't. Didn't you hear what your dad just announced? Yibai is also an heir now. It's perfect that you're back. Nianian is pregnant. Yibai has too much on his plate. You can help him out with his work. I almost lost my balance when I heard that. It felt like I'd been struck by lightning. You all. I never would have guessed that they already had a kid on the way. Brother, in a few months, my baby is going to be born. You're going to be an uncle soon. Aren't you happy? After Yan Yibai finished speaking, a hint of proud provocation flashed in his eyes. Such an obvious provocation. How could I not see that? Brother, you studied abroad since you were little. You're super knowledgeable. Why don't you help us pick a name for our baby? Yan Yibai knew full well how much pain I was in. You're deliberately rubbing salt in my wound. That's a great idea. Yan Wendong said approvingly. Aken, if you feel upset about this, we can let the kid call you godfather. And you can pick the kid's name too. How does that sound? I laughed coldly. Is this some kind of charity? If this whole mess hadn't happened, I would never have known. My own family could be this shameless. Then name him Yan Jianli, I said with a sneer. So when he grows up, he can stay far away from all of you. How does that sound? Jiang Yuying snapped. Yan Chen. Have all the manners I taught you all these years gone to waste? Oh really, auntie? You should fix your own problems first before lecturing others. I picked up a glass of wine. Since you're getting married, shouldn't I toast you? Yan Yibai still acted like a perfect gentleman. I'm glad you made it back alive. Nianian and I would love to have your blessing at our wedding, I said with a laugh. Then I wish you stay infertile forever and have tons of kids. Right after that, I splashed the wine all over his face. Lu Nianian jumped in shock. Akin, you're being way too out of line. No matter what, Yibai is still your little brother. How could you do that to him? That's so rude and uneducated. Yan Wandong never expected I would act so rudely. But I didn't think there was anything wrong with what I did at all. Instead, I picked up another glass of wine and walked up to Lu Nianian. This toast is for us never seeing each other again for the rest of our lives. As soon as I finished, I splashed the wine forward. Jiang Yuying just tried to stop me. But it was already too late. The dark red liquid smudged Lu Nianian's makeup all over her face. I watched my own father and my ex-girlfriend care about someone else this much, and my heart ached sharply. Are these really the family I used to know? I slammed the empty wine glass in my hand onto the floor hard. I glared at Yan Yuandong with hatred in my eyes. I said word for word, "This glass is just like the bond between us. It can never be fixed again. From now on, all ties between us are cut. You take your sunny broad road, and I'll cross my rickety single-log bridge." I left everyone's sight like a wounded lone wolf. It had started pouring heavily outside at some point. I walked into the rain heartbroken, letting the cold of the world wash over me. It's time to wake up. I've been an idiot for 8 years. It's really time to snap out of it. The cold, wet rain soaked through my heart mercilessly. I let out a bitter, loud laugh. I felt like my whole existence was a joke. I laughed until I started crying. The heavy rain soaked me all through. I was in so much pain I couldn't pull myself together. Lots of cars honked at me like crazy. Are you insane? If you want to die, go do it far away. Don't get my car dirty, asshole. Get out of my way now. Are you deaf? Can't you hear the honking? I laughed even louder. I was just like a lunatic. The harsher people swore at me, the harder I laughed. All of a sudden, a black car drove through the intersection, speeding straight towards me. I recognized this car model. This trim, this color. Isn't this Lu Nianian's car? I stood there frozen. Nianian came to find me. Does she know she was wrong? Did she come to beg for my forgiveness? I didn't know if I should forgive her. These 8 years of relationship are like thread and needle, stitched into my youth stitch by stitch. If I tried to pull out all the memories related to her, I could never do that. There was a dull thud. I watched that black car crash right into me. My mind went blank instantly. So he wanted me dead. My eyes flew wide open. I couldn't believe it. Just because I splashed wine on Yan Yibai, he came all this way to run me over? My laugh grew more and more unsettling. My body hit the ground hard and I passed out. The rain poured down on me mercilessly. Bright red blood spread across the ground. "Miss, we hit someone!" A panicked voice said suddenly. I'm not used to driving Mr. Lu's car. When I saw someone in the rain just now, I couldn't brake in time. The person in the back seat didn't even lift their eyelids, their voice cold and calm. "Get someone to take care of it." Xiaoxia wiped the windshield with her hand and looked closely. "Miss, that looks like Mr. Yan. I hit Mr. Yan." One sentence suddenly made the person in the back seat look up. He made a loud bang. The car door was already open. Fu Jinhuan walked quickly toward that figure. Before Xiao Xiao could react, his young lady had already bent over and struggled to help that person stand up. "Miss, be careful with yourself." "Call Dr. Zhang." "Go home, yes." Fu Jinhuan looked at the person in her arms. "It's raining so heavily. What is a Chen doing? You didn't even hide when you saw a car coming?" Blood from the back of his head mixed with the rainwater and dyed Fu Jinhuan's dress red. "Xiao Xiao, speed up." "Yes, miss. I'm already driving as fast as I can." Finally, Xiao Xiao drove into West Coast Community. This place is known as the most expensive area in East City. It's Fu Jinhuan's home. "Hello, miss." Following Fu Jinhuan's hurried steps, doctors and nurses all followed behind her and walked into the living room. Our miss has always been a neat freak. Why would she put a soaking wet person on her bed? What's more, it's a man. Several doctors and nurses looked at each other in confusion. "Miss, aren't you going to bandage this gentleman's wound?" "Get out, all of you!" What is Miss trying to do? Just then, a servant came in carrying a basin. After everyone had left, she reached out to take off my wet shirt, then grabbed a hot towel and wiped it back and forth across my body. After hearing Mrs. Voice saying, "Come in," everyone waiting outside the door came in one after another. They saw Fu Jinhuan wiping my body at first glance. "Hurry up and treat the wound." Xiao Xiao was silently amazed at the sight. "You actually checked that man's body? From top to bottom? You could have left this kind of thing to the nurses, or you could have given it to me to do. How can you do this kind of rough work, miss?" "Wait, don't go." I suddenly grabbed the doctor's coat hem and mumbled in pain. Dr. Zhang shivered all over. He pressed harder when applying the medicine. It hurt so bad I sucked in a cold breath. Get out of here! Fu Jinhuan pushed Dr. Zhang away hard. You're so clumsy, you can't even do this little thing right. Fu Jinhuan applied the medicine to me herself. Why are you treating me like this? Why? What's going on? A Chen was bullied by someone. Xiao Xiao, go find out what happened. Yes. When has Miss ever cared so much about a man before? Also, replace all the servants in the house with men. Because Fu Jinhuan has kept away from men for years, all the servants in the house are women. That's why she did it herself just now. To wipe my body personally. Sir, you're awake. Who are you? I'm the servant in charge of taking care of you. Where is this? To answer your question, sir. This is West Coast Community. West Coast Community? It's the most expensive French-style villa area in East City. How did I end up here? Our assistant Yu hit you by accident. Do you remember that? Before I could think back carefully, a wave of pain suddenly hit the back of my head. You hit it when you fell down by accident. The wound isn't deep. She already bandaged it up for you. I thought for a while before I remembered what had happened. I just tried to get out of bed. The servant hurried forward to stop me. You don't even remember who our miss is, do you? I really have no memory of that. After I was hit by the car, I lost consciousness completely. Who saved me? I didn't even have time to take a look. Where is your miss? She's taking a bath. She got a little wet in the rain today when she brought you back to save you. I had no idea when I put on this bathrobe. What's going on here? You got soaked in the rain, sir. It was an emergency. To keep you from catching a worse cold, we specially got a bathrobe for you. How did you change my clothes? Did you help me do it? Do you have any other discomfort, sir? No more. All right, where are my clothes? We already washed them and put them in the drying room. Wait a moment. I'll go get them right now. The servant bowed respectfully and left the room. I looked around at the surroundings. The whole room had exquisite and luxurious decorations. Even the servants had very good manners in every move they made. It was enough to show how noble the owner of this house was, even though the person who hit me with the car wasn't Lu Nianian. 8 years of relationship had long grown into a giant tree in my heart. Now it's been uprooted entirely. It hurts so bad even my breath is shaking. Sir, here are your clothes. They're still a little damp. Do you want to put them on? I hummed in agreement. You can head out first. I'll handle the rest myself. I just undid my bath towel when I suddenly heard a seductive female voice. The bedroom door was pushed open. Heard you woke up. A slim figure walked in. I never expected anyone to come in at this hour. It's you? What are you doing here? The woman curled her red lips and said, This is my place, duh. What? I froze for a few seconds. Get out? The woman chuckled softly. Who kicks the homeowner out like that? There's nothing to see anyway. What's all the fuss about? What do you mean nothing to see? Damn it, didn't your parents teach you basic manners? You don't even knock before coming in. Why would I knock on my own bedroom door? I was even more shocked. This is your bedroom? The clothes you're wearing are still wet. Take them off quick if you don't want your cold to get worse. Ugh, I bring you clothes and get yelled at for it. What is wrong with the world these days? I shook my head. I have a cold? No wonder I've been feeling dizzy all the time. So you're the one who saved me. My tone just now was really rude, wasn't it? Either way, thanks for saving me. It's getting late. I should get going. Leave? Where else would you even go? I already looked into your situation. I know exactly what happened at the Sky Garden. I can stay at a hotel first. It's so late right now. If you walk out of my place alone, people who don't know better will think I kicked you out. That'll ruin my reputation, won't it? I couldn't help thinking to myself, she's being hunted by 2 groups of people. What good reputation does she even have left? But I could tell she wanted to help me recover from my injuries. Besides, you saved me once. Let's call this me paying you back for that favor. You can stay here until you find a place to live. Fu Qingwan added after speaking, Relax. I'm not into skinny little guys. Skinny little guy? How dare she call me that? Does your head still hurt? No pain? Then get some rest first. I'll go check if dinner's ready. I looked at the brand new change of clothes in my hand. The size and style. Did she buy these specially for me? As I thought that. I shook my head. She must have guys staying over all the time. That's why she has all sizes. I was just about to take a hot shower when I noticed how pale I looked in the mirror. Who would like someone who looks like me? It makes sense that Lunyanyan fell for someone else. Thinking of Lunyanyan, my heart ached sharply. 8 years of relationship turned into a sharp blade, stabbing me right in the heart out of nowhere. I don't know how much time passed. Fu Qinghua knocked on the bedroom door. Come down for dinner. Achen couldn't have fallen asleep already, right? She pushed the door open. The bathroom was lit with warm yellow light. Hot steam was seeping out from the gap under the door. Fu Qinghua was just about to leave when she suddenly heard an alarm go off in the bathroom. Fu Qinghua immediately realized something was wrong. The woman twisted the doorknob, only to find it was locked from the inside. Achen, can you hear me? Open the door. Dense hot steam gushed out. I was lying on the floor. Fu Qinghua helped me up right away. Yanchen, wake up. Doctor, doctor! Miss, you called me? To rebandage the wound. Right now. Yes, yes, ma'am. I'll change the dressing right away. Idiot. He even faints taking a shower. The second I look away, you mess up everything. Miss, the wound infection caused a high fever. No matter what method we use for this, sir, we have to bring his fever down. Make sure he's safe and sound. Yes, I don't know how long passed. I opened my groggy eyes. The bathroom is so stuffy. You're awake? Do you feel any discomfort anywhere? I nodded, then shook my head again. Are you Nyanyan? I shook my head, trying hard to see the woman in front of me clearly. I tried to prop myself up. Does your head still hurt? I nodded, then stared at the blurry figure in front of me. You're stunned. What's wrong? Are you in a lot of pain? I'll get Dr. Zhang to come in and check on you. You cheating bitch. How could you do something like that? You could have fallen for anyone else. Why did it have to be my little brother? You even have a kid together already. Fu Qinghua frowned slightly. Does Echen think I'm Lu Nianyan? It's just a woman, right? There are all sorts of different people in the world. My Nianyan is different from everyone else. You said you were feeling bad earlier. I'll get a doctor to check you out. It's no use. The pain is here. It hurts right here. Why don't you like me anymore? What did I do wrong? Just tell me. I can change no matter what the problem is. The next second I pulled Fu Qinghua into my arms. I kissed her, and Fu Qinghua felt her whole body heating up. Even her gaze started to go out of focus. Aken will be mine sooner or later, but not right now. The Aken right now has no idea who I am. The next morning, when I opened my eyes, there was no one left in the bedroom. I groggily remembered being in the bathroom last night, and somehow I passed out. What happened after that? I have no clue at all. Right then, a maid cleaning the living room spotted me. I walked downstairs and she greeted Mr. Yan. You're awake. I'll take you to the first floor for breakfast right away. No need. Where's your young lady? The maid smiled. Our young lady went out for an interview early in the morning. Interview? Just as I was feeling confused, a financial interview suddenly popped up on the TV screen. Female CEO of a major group, who has topped the rich list for 6 years straight. And single young heiress. Yep, that's our young lady. No wonder her name sounded so familiar to me. Turns out she's the CEO of Changguang Group. I'd guessed all kinds of possible identities for her before, but I never would have guessed this one. Our young lady is really outstanding, isn't she? If you end up with our young lady, Mr. Yan, you two will definitely have the most beautiful babies in the whole world. Babies? I changed the subject right away and asked, do you know where my phone is? Your phone got soaked in the rain yesterday, Mr. Yani. After we sent it for repairs, it's in the room you just came out of. Thanks. I turned around and went back to the bedroom. Sure enough, it had full signal once I turned it on. But I didn't expect that besides the weather forecast. Sure enough, it had full signal once I turned it on. Sure enough, it had full signal once I turned it on. So I called someone. I know you definitely won't believe what I'm about to say. Lu Nianyan has been dating Yibai for a really long time. She kept in touch with me the whole time, while sleeping with Yibai at the same time. And now she even has a child with him. What? How dare Lu Nianyan do this? I only found out the truth yesterday too. Yesterday was her birthday, but I never would have guessed she'd get engaged to my little brother. You know what? Yesterday was also our Qingyan Group's 3rd merger anniversary. What merger? They merged 3 years ago. I only found out yesterday too. That's pretty stupid of me, right? Even the inheritance under my name has become uncertain now. You know what? Yibai is now the chairman of the group. Even my aunt has become a chairwoman too. What's going on here? I remember the will your grandfather made back then. Didn't leave them anything. Yeah, their intentions are super obvious. They first got into the group ahead of time, built good relationships with the internal staff, waiting for my dad to inherit the estate so they can get a piece of the pie. I have to say, they've planned this really well. That's outrageous. They're going way too far. Wait for me. This is Yang Yang. I'll go back right now to stand up for you. No. Young master, don't make things even messier for me, okay? The reason I called you right now is to ask you what I should do. What else can you do? Of course you fight to get the inheritance back first, duh. I paused for a second and said, you don't know there are 2 conditions to inherit the estate. Whichever of me or my dad meets them first gets the right to inherit. What conditions? First, the heir must carry the scent of Jingyang Group's latest QV3 perfume. What's QV3? It's the last perfume your grandfather made before he passed away. It was never released to the public. 3 years ago, my dad sent me abroad to learn perfumery skills. Your dad is such a sneaky, cunning guy. Why would he ever let you inherit the estate? He said that no matter who inherits the estate, we have to split it out of respect for the father-son relationship, right? I hummed in agreement sullenly. I thought that too at first. But I never expected that when I finished my studies and came back 3 years later, things at home had already changed completely. So have you figured out how to make QV13 in these 3 years? No, the process of making perfume is super complicated. Even though I've been able to identify all kinds of scents since I was a kid, I'm no match for this particular perfume. I can only pick out 1 or 2 scents in it. Also, the mixing process is super time sensitive. Even the tiniest deviation will mess it up. It tastes totally different. What are we gonna do now? Your first condition is already this tricky. We've researched for 3 years and got nowhere. I'm afraid we'll never get it right in this lifetime. You just said there are 2 conditions for inheriting the estate. What's the second one? The heir must build a happy and harmonious family. What? That's such a high bar. Your grandpa might as well say you can't inherit it at all. Yang thinks my grandpa is just making things hard on purpose. But your grandpa doted on you so much back then. Why would he set such a high inheritance threshold? What on earth is he thinking? Actually, this isn't that strange. He wants me to succeed in my studies and have a happy and satisfying marriage. I think he's using the inheritance to motivate me. He hopes I can amount to something in the future. Mu Yang nodded. That does make some sense, right? I started to feel worried. Dad already meets the second inheritance condition now. He has a family. Only the first condition is left now, as long as he tests out QV13 before I do. Jingyang Group and the billions in assets are Grandpa's life work. If it falls into the hands of my stepmom and you buy later, Grandpa will never rest in peace. So what are you planning to do? I said in a deep voice. Dad has been running the group for the past 3 years. No one knows I hold the same position as Dad. We are both acting presidents of the group. What I'm worried about is everyone already sees him as the real group president. To stop me from coming back to fight for the inheritance, my stepmom probably already planted her people inside the group. Maybe I'll get kicked out before I even take the acting president's seat. Where's the will? Will showing the will to those people work? The will is at home. I didn't take it with me when I went abroad 3 years ago. Should I go get it now? Of course you have to go get it. Like you said, Jingyang Group is your grandpa's life work. You have to take it back no matter what. If it falls into outsiders' hands, your grandpa will definitely not rest in peace. That makes sense. This is rightfully mine. How can I just give it away so easily? If this was before, I would have given all the inheritance to my dad without hesitation. But everything has changed now. Dad is no longer the loving father I knew before. Or maybe he was never a good person at all. I just never noticed it all this time. I barely come home once. I can never let anyone see my weakness. Mr. Yan, are you leaving? The young lady said, before you fully recover, you can't go anywhere. I'm just going out to get some fresh air. Besides, can she even control my freedom? If you leave, I won't be able to explain to the young lady.
How about this?
I'll call the young lady to report first, so that if she blames us for neglecting our duties, our lives will be hard later. You make your young lady sound like a terrifying monster. Is she really that scary? The maid nodded hesitantly. Way scarier than a terrifying monster. You've only seen her gentle and patient side, Mr. Yan. When she really loses her temper, the whole Dongcheng will shake, since she's that scary. Then I'll talk to her myself. Don't worry, you won't be held responsible. As I was walking on the road, I was just about to call Fu Qingwan. My phone suddenly rang. An unknown number popped up on the screen. Normally, I would never answer an unknown call. But this time I had a hunch. The caller might be Fu Qinghuan. Hello? Who's this? Remember me, miss? Shu Zhenzhen? Why are you calling? So you do remember me. Looks like I left a really deep impression on you. Why didn't you tell me you were returning to the country? Don't you want me to pick you up at the airport? I only need you to do one thing. Stay away from me. The farther the better. It must be Brother Hao, who told her I'm back in the country. Otherwise she wouldn't track me down this fast. Right after I hung up the phone, a sports car stopped right in front of me. Brother Chen, long time no see. Chen, why do you look so worn out? Did something unpleasant happen? None of your business. I walked down another road. I didn't bother talking to her. How did she know I'm here? Does that last call have a location tracking function? Ever since we were students, this woman has stuck to me like glue. No matter what I did, I couldn't get rid of her. I finally went abroad and enjoyed 3 years of quiet time. I didn't expect her to cling to me again right after I returned to China. This flirty scumbag is chasing me, but never turns down advances from other guys. She's such an unapologetic player. How the hell would I ever like a woman like her? Where are you going? Brother Chen, wanna come with me? I wish this man was mine. Babe, where are you off to? Let me give you a ride. I glanced her up and down. She's still full of silly little schemes, and she still has zero filter when she talks. Even her taste is still so weird. Miss Shi, you still can't land any other guy after all these years. Or has your charm worn off? No guys are lining up to chase you anymore. So you got lonely and came to hit on me. Ha ha ha, I'm never lonely, da. Besides, I'm already sick of other guys. You're the only one I'm hung up on. Chen. You haven't still been crushing on Lu Nianian all these years, have you? I heard she cheated on you, you know. And she cheated with your own younger brother. None of your business. Of course it's my business. Everything that matters to you matters to me. Get in the car. I'll help you get back at that jerk. Move. Get out of my way. That's the first time I've ever heard someone say I'm blocking their way. Yanchen, do you have any idea that me showing up on this road is this road's greatest honor? Shi Jinzhen, can you have a little self-respect? Good question. I threw my dignity away the second I started chasing you. Chen babe, you're always so special. You say all the things no one else dares to. That's exactly what I love about you. I hailed a taxi and got in. Driver, head to Qingyan Villa, please. Thank you. You have a perfectly good sports car to ride in. Why are you taking a taxi? Shi Jinzhen couldn't wrap her head around it. Why does he hate me so much? Tons of guys are dying to get with me, but he's the only one who's different. The colder he acts towards me, the more interested I get. Chen, your taste is getting worse and worse. This beat-up old taxi, are you risking your life riding in this? If something happens to you, who am I gonna marry? Who the hell said I'm gonna marry you? Also, have you been abroad for too long that you can't read road signs anymore? Do you know you're driving the wrong way down the street? And you have the nerve to say, I'm risking my life. Do you even care about your own safety? Chen, you're worried about me. Unless you accept my feelings for you, I'm gonna follow you forever. If I get hurt, you have to take care of me for the rest of my life. Total lunatic. I ignored her. Driver, please pass her car. Sir, the speed limit here is 40 km/h. I'm already going 39. The driver glanced at Shi Jinzhen while driving and shivered. Besides, who dares to overtake Miss Shi's car? That's basically asking for death. Haha, you're smart. I can't stand how she's showing off like this in public. She thinks her family's influence makes her untouchable. She's completely ignoring traffic rules. She can drive however she wants, right? She acts like the whole road belongs to her family. There were a few young people on the bus who saw Shi Jinzhen driving her flashy sports car. That woman driving is so pretty. That's really Miss Shi. She's way more beautiful than she looks in magazines. Maybe she heard the passers-by's compliments. Shi Jinzhen kissed her index finger and blew them a kiss. The young people on the bus started screaming. Lots of people in other cars got out too, even leaving their cars behind. They all crowded around her. The road got congested really quickly. The traffic jam kept getting worse and worse. Non-stop car honks, screams from passers-by, and Shi Jinzhen's overly graceful blown kisses all mixed together. I was stuck in the middle of the crowd, unable to move forward or back. Watching this ridiculous scene get worse, I was practically boiling with rage. I was supposed to go back to Qingyan Group to make the people who let me down pay, not waste time dealing with Shi Jinzhen here. I wore a cold face and pushed through the surrounding crowd.
Shi Jinzhen, move right now.
Don't waste my time. But Shi Jinzhen didn't hold back at all. This is the guy I've been in love with for years. Yanchen, please take good care of him in the future, everyone. As soon as she said that, the onlookers took out their phones and started snapping photos of us like crazy. I yanked my hand away from her hard. My voice was as cold as ice. I have nothing to do with you. Keep bothering me and you'll regret it. The force of me pulling away made her stumble a step. Chen, I was just trying to help you. Lu Nianyan and Yan Yibai treated you like that. I'm the only one who's truly nice to you. I don't need your kindness. I have to go to Qingyan Villa to get the will back. I can't let Yan Yuandong steal what rightfully belongs to me. A blinding headlight beam cut through the chaotic crowd. The car slowly stopped right in front of me. The noisy crowd around subconsciously quieted down a little. The car window rolled down slowly. "Get in," was all she said. Her tone was calm but left no room for refusal. I didn't hesitate at all. I pulled the door open and got in right away. The second the car door closed, all the outside noise was completely blocked out. The car was clean and quiet inside. The faint cold scent soothed the restlessness in my heart. Seeing this, Shi Zhenzhen immediately rushed to the car window. "Who are you? How dare you take him away?" "Brother Aken, let me tell you, I'm the eldest miss of the Shi family. Don't even think about snatching him from me." The car drove off, leaving Shi Zhenzhen's shouts and the crowd's noise far behind. I leaned back on the car seat. My tense body finally relaxed. I raised my hand and rubbed my throbbing temples. "It's urgent. I need to get back to Qingyan Villa. Grandpa's will is still there. Only if I get the will can I rightfully take back Qingyan Group and expose the true colors of Yan Yuandong and his crew. I'll go with you." The security of Qingyan Villa, Yan Yuandong's recent schedule, and the staff arrangement inside the house. I've already asked Xiao to look into all of them thoroughly. You saved my life once. I, Fu Qingwan, never owe anyone favors. Besides, I will never ignore your business. If you want to fight back, I'll give you all the support you need. If you want to take back everything that belongs to you, Chengguang Group is your strongest backing. These days, she saved me from a near-fatal car accident, took me in to recover from my injuries in Xi'an district, quietly looked into all enemy information for me, and never asked for anything in return. But those people I considered my closest family announced my death the day I returned to the country and took over my family property. A warm current slowly spread from the bottom of my heart. I looked at the woman standing at the top of Dongcheng and said seriously, "Fu Qinghuan, thank you. After I settle all these things, I will definitely repay you. I don't want your repayment. I only want you to win." The car soon arrived at Qingyan Villa. This is the home I grew up in since I was little, but now it feels like a cold cage. The security guard at the gate saw me, and his face changed instantly. "Mr. Yan, the old master ordered that you can't enter." "I'm going back to my own home. Why would I need someone else's permission?" My tone was icy cold. I walked straight inside. The security guards didn't dare to stop me forcefully. They could only hurriedly take out their phones to report. Just as I walked into the living room, I heard Yan Yuandong, Zhang Yuying, Yan Yibai, and Lu Nianyan laughing and chatting. The four of them were sitting around the sofa, discussing the group's future and wedding details. Hearing the sound of footsteps, they all turned their heads, and when they saw me, the smiles on their faces froze instantly. "Yanchen, why are you here?" "Are all the security guards outside dead? Who let you break in here?" "Security, throw him out!" Yan Yibai held the pale Lu Nianyan in his arms. A flash of panic crossed his eyes. "Brother, it's so great that you're back. These days when you were gone, we were all so worried about you." "Worried about me? Worried that I'm still alive? That I'll stop you from taking over my family property? Stop you from holding that fancy wedding? Stop you from taking Qingyan Group as your own? Isn't that right, Achen? I was wrong, but we are truly in love. I didn't tell you, because I was afraid you'd worry when you were abroad. Can you forgive me?" "Forgive you? You betrayed our 8-year relationship, cheated on me with my brother, and got pregnant, and watched them announce my death. Do you even deserve to be forgiven? Stop spouting nonsense here. Qingyan Group belongs to me and Yibai now. It has nothing to do with you. Your grandpa's will has long been invalid." "Invalid?" Xiao immediately took out a document and handed it over. "Yan Wandong, you tampered with the will without permission, embezzled billions of group assets, colluded with outsiders to suppress veteran employees. Chengguang Group has all the evidence for these acts. Besides, the QV13 perfume formula left by Grandpa, I've already successfully developed it. Plus I'm single and eligible to start a family. I fully meet the inheritance requirements. I slammed the original will and the perfume formulation proof on the table. Yan Yuandong's face turned deathly pale. He collapsed onto the sofa. Zhang Yuying was shaking all over. She no longer had her usual arrogance. Yan Yibai's eyes darted around evasively, not daring to look me in the eye. Lu Nianyan completely broke down, collapsed to the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. Right at this moment, sirens wailed outside the door. Fu Qinghuan spoke calmly. Suspected of embezzlement, commercial fraud and document forgery. The police have already arrived. The officers walked into the living room and showed the arrest warrant on the spot, took Yan Yuandong, Zhang Yuying and Yan Yibai away one by one. Lu Nianyan was involved in the conspiracy, so she was also taken away to assist in the investigation. What awaits her is legal punishment and public condemnation. Bad people always get what they deserve. They schemed in every possible way, trying to take everything from me, but ended up in jail. Standing in the empty living room, I let out a long sigh of relief. The gloom that had weighed on me for 3 years finally lifted completely. Fu Qinghuan walked over to me and gently tugged at my hand. I looked at her. Her gentle eyes and brows calmed me down instantly. The setting sun fell on her through the French window. She was so beautiful I couldn't look away. We first met by chance after the plane crash. Then you risked your life to save me in the heavy rain. And now you're here with me to get everything back. This woman has long been in my heart. Fu Qinghuan, you protected me in the past. From now on, I'll be the one protecting you. King Yan Group. I will keep it safe and fulfill Grandpa's last wish. The most important thing in my life is to stay by your side. A gentle smile appeared in her eyes. She stood on her tiptoes and kissed my lips softly. This kiss wasn't hasty, had no misunderstandings, only full of joy and certainty. Later, I officially inherited Qingyan Group, restructured the business, and recalled the old employees. It became a much-told story in Dongcheng's business circle. Fu Qinghuan and I held a grand wedding. That caused a sensation in the entire capital. Our married life was warm and perfect. I'm no longer the down-and-out man betrayed by his family, and the lover he once trusted. Fu Qinghuan is still the powerful Miss Jingxuan, but she's only gentle to me alone. Shi Zhenzhen saw that I already had someone in my heart, and was living a happy and fulfilling life. Finally gave up completely, and stopped pestering me. As for those evil people, Yan Yuandong, Zhang Yuying, and Yan Yibai spent the rest of their lives in prison, paying the price for their greed and betrayal. Lu Nianyan's reputation was completely ruined. No one was willing to help her. She struggled miserably at the bottom of society, and never had her former glory again. Sunlight fell on the silhouettes of Fu Qinghuan and I leaning against each other. I finally realized the plane crash was a disaster, but also a blessing that kept me away from all the hypocritical people and meet someone truly worth cherishing. Good people will get their rewards eventually. Bad people will get their just desserts. Fu Qinghuan and I holding hands and staying together is the happiest ending I could ever ask for in this life.